We're exploring with sisters, and we want to share a little bit more detail on an excursion that we took while we were on the Havala voyages in Norway. If you've been following us on our Norway adventures, you know that we've been on the Havala voyage for 12 full days. This particular excursion was on our southbound route. We had not previously signed up for this excursion because we really wanted to see how the weather was. And so on the morning of the excursion, we woke up to beautiful sunny skies, so we went ahead and signed up on the ship. The bus ride here was about 45 minutes. It was a very comfortable ride, and when we finally got our first glimpse of the mountain with the hole in it, Torghatten, we were very excited. I didn't share all the details on our previous video, on the one that we posted on Torghatten, so I wanted to share with you a little bit more about the logistics of this hike. The visitor center is very well done. It was finished about a year ago, and it's right adjacent to the parking area. It has an exhibition area that is very informative about the history of the mountain and the building of the wonderful hiking trail. The design of this building had large overhangs, which might come in handy if you're here during one of the rains. The building itself was really nicely done. The architectural details were very nice, has beautiful wood details. The restrooms are modern, very clean, a lot of natural light coming in through the skylights. Outside the visitor center, there's a pathway to the left as you're facing the building. This will lead you to the hole in the mountain, but it is more treacherous and not as well maintained. So you do want to be careful there. It's going to take you to the south side of the mountain instead of the north. So we're going to take you on the path that the excursion took us on, which is on the more direct path with the steps, and it leads to the north side of the hole. You can make a circular loop hike, and you can follow this trail on alltrails.com. For our excursion, they took us one direction, we turned around and we came back the exact same way. We had about an hour to do the entire hike there and back. It's not that far, but you do want to stop and take pictures, and it is a lot of climbing, which we're going to share with you on this video. A lot of people use trekking poles, including myself. Now, my sister Cindy did not, so it really depends on your ability. I have multiple sclerosis and I have trouble walking on steps, and so this was a lot more of a challenge to me than it was to her. At the beginning of the walk, it's more of a gravel path, and then you come to a stone path. The steps start off pretty mild, and then as the climb goes further up into the mountains, of course, the rise on the steps becomes greater, and so therefore it's a little bit more difficult. The path follows this tiny little creek. It's basically water runoff from the mountain, but it is very refreshing when you're walking to see that. Most of the path is shaded by some trees, but as you get closer to the opening of the mountain, it is full sun. Of course, depending on the weather, it could be quite breezy and windy up here as well. I'm going to be really honest right now. I was wiped out getting to the top of the hole in the mountain, and so I declined from going any further down these stairs and onto the lookout point. And so Cindy went on and did that for me and took pictures and told me how wonderful it was and said it was definitely worth it, but it is a lot of steps. So if you're like me and you just cannot make it any further down any more steps, you still get a great view when you arrive at the hole, and you can see in both directions. So to me, it was worth the effort. I enjoyed sitting at the middle of the mountain looking in both directions. There was a nice breeze and we had a gorgeous day, and I just waited on Cindy to do the extra trekking for me and to come back and show me her pictures. Going down, it is easier, of course, but it is uneven, so I did use my trekking poles to make sure I didn't miss my footing. And the steps are uneven, so you do have to pay attention, but it is, of course, less strenuous than going up. The views in both directions were really, really nice. Now, they are different, of course. When you're in the middle of the mountain and you look to the hole, you're going to see the islands out there in the water, and it looks really far away because it is. You lose scale. This place is enormous. And I enjoyed the view from where we came from and seeing more of the mountains in the distance. Our guide had the Norwegian flags, which I thought was a nice touch for a picture. So if you want to plan ahead, that's kind of a neat thing to do. Now, our hike took place in the mid-afternoon, and I'm sure in the morning it's much more pleasant. It was not crowded while we were there, and we were there in August of 24. I do wish we had had more time to explore and spend time on this wonderful mountain hike. I think if the schedule permitted, I would have taken the extra steps and gone down the other side of the hole in the mountain and taken in the views, but because I felt rushed, I didn't want to hold up the crowd and we had to meet the bus back, I opted not to. Overall, I would definitely recommend this hike. Just be prepared for the steps and take the necessary trekking poles and take rest along the way. And of course, if you're in shape like Cindy, it's not a problem at all, and you can just enjoy the beautiful scenery. Thanks again for watching our videos, especially this one that has more detail on Torghatten. Remember to subscribe to our channel with Exploring with Sisters. Share it and give us a thumbs up. It means a great deal to us. Happy traveling!